Good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is time for the morning motivation with boy Donovin Darius. Man, hey, I'm Donovin Darius, former 10-year NFL player, life strategist, and international speaker. Hey, good morning. This morning, the message is about you have to be obsessed with your dreams or your goals. You have to. You know, I get the question all the time, Donovan, what did it take for you to be successful when you was a kid in Camden, New Jersey? What did it take for you to be successful? You know, there was nothing around you, nobody that you knew made it to the NFL, just like you. You may have a dream or goal, and nobody around you have ever accomplished it. I was sharing with somebody the other day, and here's a true fact, okay? As a culture and as an ethnicity, okay, as an African American, okay, I'm not black. I mean, hey, this is beautiful brown skin, right? As an African American, right? Because of when I looked at my life and I looked at, you know, history and everything, I said, you know what? As an African American group, because of slavery for so long, and then when you got to the point and you had segregation, and it wasn't but what, a few decades ago where African Americans was able to do certain things that, you know, other Americans were able to do. What I found myself doing is that I realized as a culture that we know how, when I say African Americans, we know how to work by the sweat of our brow. We know how to really grind. We know how to push. We know how to inspire. We know how to motivate. You know why? Because we've had to do that our whole life. You see, we had to fight all of our life. You know, we had to overcome sometimes just being us our whole life. You know, we had to, you know, when growing up in Camden, New Jersey, you know, Camden, New Jersey was rated the number 3 most dangerous city in the world, in the country. And so we grew up understanding with Teflon as our skin, as Teflon as our mindset, you know what I mean, to overcome anything and everything. But one of the things I say all that to say that we learned those things, but there were some things that we may not have learned yet. And that's what I'm on a mission to do, and I'm on a mission to teach the next generations. And that was, I learned how to work by the sweat of my brow. I learned how to be inspiring. I learned how to overcome things. And that's what I did. But one of the things I never learned how to do, and one of the things why I do these videos, because I want to constantly teach and I want to share for the next generation and my kids and beyond, is how do you turn your ideas into money, into revenue? Which means, how do you maximize your ideas? I mean, you may be somebody, whether you're black, white, doesn't matter. You may have that same question. I have these ideas. I have these things. How do I turn that into revenue? Well, just remember, again, if you were never taught it, then either you got to be inspired with it or you got to learn it yourself. And so I realize that I am on a mission now because everybody is I believe, is fully loaded. Everybody came to this earth fully loaded with gifts, talents, all these different opportunities. But sometimes we just don't have the knowledge and the understanding on how to do it. Now, what I'm saying is not making excuses why people do what they do or don't do what they don't do. But you got it at times. You got to take a moment and say, wait a minute. If I want to go to one place, what is the thing that I need to overcome? And what I realized that I needed to overcome and that I want to help other people overcome is the lack of the knowledge. You see, we don't have the biggest enemy that we have in our life, okay? It's not anybody else. It is ignorance. Because if you don't know something, you can't use that information, and you definitely can't apply it, and you definitely can't benefit from the information. And so I realized that, yes, Donovan, I have this ability to speak, to communicate, to work with sweat on my brow, to overcome, to be an NFL player, to go to all across the country, to inspire people and share and relate. But how do I now turn some of these ideas? And that's why it's so important that you surround yourself with people who have the knowledge. That's why your association can determine your destination. That's why wherever you're at, whatever ideal you have as we're closing out the end of the year, okay, wherever you have, man, if you start to write down that vision and you write down that goal, then you start really stretching yourself by reaching out to people who may have that information or reading stuff or looking up stuff because the information is here now. And so I say all that to say this. It doesn't matter what my ancestors, what my people did or didn't have, and what I did or didn't have. I have this moment right now. I can get the information now. Everything is up to me. And so when I look back on, you know, and people ask me, well, what does it take, Donovan, as you overcome? What did it take for you to be successful? What did it take when you was in Camden and all you saw was negativity? When all you saw was just, you know, a whole row of streets of houses and all of them abandoned? What gave you hope? when you didn't play football till the 9th grade because you went out for the Centerville Simbas and you made the team, but it cost $35 and you didn't have $35? What did it take? Well, here's a couple things I'm going to share about what it took, but I want to really press on one. One of them, of course, it took a decision. It took a decision at a very early age, and it's going to take a decision for you. Decide that this is what you want. Decide that this is where you're going to go. I decide I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm decide that, I'm not going to be what somebody else say about me. Remember this, never let somebody else's opinion, about you become your reality. You don't have to. I decided not to do it. Second thing, as I was talking about earlier, you got to get the knowledge. Get the information that you need. It's not enough just to make a decision, I want to do it. But if I don't have the knowledge, if I'm not reaching out, if I'm not networking, if I'm not asking questions from people who already been there, who have the knowledge to help me get there, then I really don't want it. The next thing, I got to be committed. I got to be committed to the end. That means I got to be willing to pay the price that it takes for me to get to where I'm trying to go. It doesn't matter what you're in, whether you're in a business. And I'm sure sometimes the people that told me that it wasn't possible, those were some of the people that were my closest family, my closest friends, told me it's not possible. When I told them I wanted to be an NFL player, when I told them I wanted to travel around the world and speak. Okay, I got that all the time, but you don't have to listen to it. And the last thing, the fourth thing that it took for me, and this is what I want to expound on, is you have to be obsessed. You have to be obsessed. That means you have to be a man or woman of obsession. You have to get to the mentality where you look at your life and you say, listen, I'm never cutting back on my ambition. I'm going to give everything that I have. I'm never cutting back on the horsepower, the amount of effort that I put into accomplishing this. Because the only person that's in control of my destiny is me. The only person that's in control of your circumstances is you. The only person that's in control of your future is you. You are the only one. And so understanding that, you never cut back on any of these things. You never dilute your greatness. You're born with greatness on the inside of you. But to be obsessed, to have that as your mentality, that I'm obsessed with becoming successful. I'm obsessed with achieving my goals. I'm obsessed. Matter of fact, you got to demand it out of yourself. Demand obsession out of yourself and demand it out of people around you. Because in order for you to overcome those adversities, or in order for you to overcome those setbacks, in order for you to come those times when it don't seem like it's going according to plan, you're going to need obsession. Because obsession is what's going to drive you from the inside. It's going to get you up when you feel like sitting down. It's going to get you to make a call when you feel like, man, the last 10, they rejected me. It's going to get you to take another step. It's going to get you to develop that mindset that says, listen, I'm not taking a step back. I'm going to continuously move forward. Because you can never accomplish anything of significance without obsession. Think about our world now. Most of the things that were invented, we made it to space. Why? Because they were obsessed with us going to space. We were obsessed with being the first one on the moon. You got to be obsessed, and you can't take no for it as an excuse. And so again, man, I just want to encourage you guys as you look at your life. Are you a man or woman of obsession? Are you obsessed with what it is that you want to do? Your dream, your business, your goal. Because if you want to accomplish anything of significance, you got to be obsessed. You got to be obsessed. You can't make excuses your friend. You can't make situations, your circumstance, your buddy. You got to say, listen, the buck stops here with me. Take personal responsibility for your life. Take personal accountability for your life. Take responsibility for every action that happened, whether good or bad. Figure out this. Man, listen, I got something to do with this. If you're driving down the street and you get into somehow, God forbid you get into a car accident, guess what? Take personal responsibility for it. You say, well, why am I going to take personal responsibility? And they sidelined me and they came and got me. Well, guess what? If you had left the house maybe 3 minutes earlier, you may not have been there. You could have took a different route. You could have drove at a different speed. That just means that, yes, you have something to do with it. But when you live a life of accountability and obsession, you look at everything in your life and you understand that whether good or bad or indifferent, I'm in control of this. I'm in control of this. You're in control of this. And so again, man, I want to encourage you guys today, as you walk out your life, man, you were born to dominate. You were born to dominate. And you can't dominate holding on to negative and limiting beliefs about yourself. You can't dominate holding on to allowing somebody else to hold the reins to your life. You can't dominate if you're walking around and not holding yourself accountable and being personally responsible for the future, for the destiny, and your past. And so today, be obsessed with your life. Be obsessed with your dream. Be obsessed with your goal. because you deserve it, and nobody can get it for you, and nobody else is holding you back. You're the only one. But today, release yourself. Release yourself with an obsessed life. Be obsessed, not just in your business. Be obsessed with your family. Be obsessed to be a great husband. Be obsessed to be a great wife. Be obsessed to be a great family member. You know what I'm saying? Great relationship, great coworker. Be obsessed with it. Obsessed. Because it's the obsessed life that'll get you the things that you always wanted. It's the obsessed life that'll get you those things that only people dream about. To get you those things that others won't. Because you're willing to do the things that others don't. All right, and so listen, man, I encourage you guys, man, as you guys rock off today. Again, if you like these messages, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and share. Check out the YouTube page. All right, make sure you check out the YouTube page. Also, come January, I believe it's January 16th, I'm going to host a free webinar for you where I'm going to get a chance to walk you through, help you set your strategic goal and vision for your life. I'm going to ask you some questions. These questions are been tested, researched, studied. I do it all the time. I get paid thousands upon thousands of dollars to do these things. I want to do it for you for free. Why? Because I'm a giver, and I want to give you the information that you need so you can live an obsessed life. You can write the vision and make it plain. You can get the knowledge that you need so that you can leave your legacy, man. You can leave your legacy. Leaving your legacy, not on just what you earn, but also what you learn. All right. And so again, to do that, man, to sign up for that, definitely go to my website. It's under construction. Man, I'm excited about it coming out, but you can still sign up for the newsletter at the bottom of the page, donovindarius.com. Okay. And sign up for it because that's where I'm going to be pushing out the invitation to the webinar. All right. So get connected to my webinar, to my newsletter, so you can also get the motivation, get tips, get these videos. Okay. And I hope to see you guys on the at the webinar as well. So listen, have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, for everybody. If you missed some of this message, okay, please definitely go back and check it out. There's some messages that I get, man, that's just from the belly, just from my belly, man. And I'm like, listen, I gotta get it out to you. You gotta feel me. I hope you feel me, you guys. You feel me? I care that much about you, man. Listen, I love every single body that's on here. You understand? As I say before, man, listen, I love people and I use money, and not the other way around. I love people and I want you, whether black, white, yellow, whatever. You are God's greatest creation. You're my brother. You're my sister. And it's time for us to live an obsessed life so we can have the things that we're obsessed about. Quality of life, peace of mind, happiness, prosperity, inside and out and all around. There's no limits, all right? So here's your morning little shout out this morning. Remember, when I say your name, I am now defining this, stamping approval on this message is for you. You ain't got no excuses, man. You know what? He wasn't talking to me. No, I'm talking to you.